Today on the AI Breakdown, we're talking about the Writers Guild of America strike, which has AI and AI replacement and automation right at the heart of it, and asking what it suggests about the state of the conversation around AI disruption in industries across America and the world. Yesterday, the Writers Guild of America strike began, and there are many reasons behind the strike. There are questions of wages and lowered prices and use of day writers and all these sort of things. But right at the heart of it is fears of AI and a concern about what Hollywood executives and studios might use AI for in the future and how it might impact the people who actually write the shows and TV and movies that we watch. Now, specifically, the Writers Guild of America is in contract discussions with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, and they're focused on what they call their Minimum Basic Agreement, or MBA. In those discussions, here's how they framed artificial intelligence. What the Writers Guild asked for was to regulate use of artificial intelligence on MBA-covered projects. AI can't write or rewrite literary material, can't be used as source material, and MBA-covered material can't be used to train AI. That was rejected by Hollywood executives who countered by offering annual meetings to discuss advancements in technology. The fear is, of course, that basically executives will create a new process for writing TV and movies, by which AI might be used to come in and do the basics of screenplays, and then Hollywood would hire writers at day rates to punch up or make those scripts a little bit better. Now, is this actually what's going to happen in Hollywood? There are kind of a variety of takes. On the one hand, you have the comical takes like Mike here, who wrote a fake episode of Succession using fake AI that's just terrible, obviously making the point that AI can't do this. And of course, a lot of Hollywood writers feel very similarly. At the same time, Sarah Myers West, who's the managing director of the AI Now Institute, which is a research nonprofit that studies social consequences of AI, says that, quote, writers in particular are among the most likely to be affected. West continues, WGA's desire to institute strong curbs on the use of AI to protect their intellectual property and creative work is well-founded, particularly given the rapid rollout and commercialization of this technology, even as it's a poor substitute for their craft. Too often the need to, quote, study the effects of technologies is used as a way to avert stronger regulation. We should learn from the last decade of tech-enabled crises and listen to organizers' demands. I think IGN News director Kat Bailey's tweet here really captures a lot of the feeling. She writes, "The rapid rise of AI, the death of Waypoint, and the upcoming WGA strike making me think again about how writers are considered eminently disposable by folks who have no idea how writing works, but are pretty sure it's really easy." Now, the question, of course, I had is, holding aside the strike's justification, from an efficacy standpoint, doesn't it create the perfect incentive and opportunity for studios to actually go try the exact thing that writers fear? General Catalyst investor Zach Kukoff says something similar, writing, "Strike breaking becomes much easier when AI can be a 24/7 scab working for pennies on the dollar. Tough time to be a creative worker like the Writers Guild going into a strike. But WGA is smart to negotiate this now. Their position only gets worse as AI matures." And indeed, that's also a lot of the response that I got to my Twitter question as well, that sure, maybe Hollywood might want to do that now, but the technology isn't really at a point yet where it's viable. And so this is exactly the right time to be negotiating exactly this. Adam Conover, who created Adam Ruins Everything, said, "In terms of companies using AI in order to break the strike, I'd like to see them try. It's not going to work. It's not easier to replace us with AI than it is to find someone to write the scripts, and that's not possible for them to do because it's an extremely skilled profession." Now, of course, the problem with that thesis is that it doesn't necessarily matter, if Adam is right, if executives are willing to just churn out crap. But this, of course, isn't just about the Writers Guild. Justine Bateman here tweets, "Watch this WGA strike carefully. Understand that our fight is the same fight that is coming to your professional sector next. It's the devaluing of human effort, skill, and talent in favor of automation and profits." And this, of course, broadens out the conversation to more generally what AI is going to do to industries. I saw a very interesting and kind of glib, cocky even tweet from Jan LeCun, who's the chief AI scientist at Meta yesterday. He retweeted something from Benedict Evans that suggested that the AI discourse about jobs destruction is way out ahead of itself, and Jan added, "Every economist I know says that it takes 15 to 20 years before a new general-purpose technology has a measurable effect on productivity. The delay is determined by how fast people learn to use it. So no, AI is not going to cause instant mass employment. It's going to displace jobs over time and make people more productive, just like every other technological revolution before that. Now, there are a lot of challenges with this. One, I will say, is just the confidence and lack of humility inherent in the statement, assuming that you can apply the model of previous technology changes to AI. But the second is, it's just not exactly being borne out in reality. Take, for example, news from earlier this week that IBM is replacing 7,800 jobs that they would have hired for in areas like human resources and back office support with AI and automation. Dropbox announced that they're cutting 500 jobs in their pivot to AI, not because they can automate those jobs away, but because the skills aren't relevant for what they need to build for the future. So between IBM, Dropbox, and now the Writers Guild of America, I don't think that dismissing the concern around AI's disruption to industries and jobs is quite so easily done. Now, where Jan is right is that one of the impacts of AI will be increased productivity for human workers as well. Planet Money just published a long article about a team of researchers who have been using an earlier version of a ChatGPT-like AI to help customer service workers, and they found that the hybrid AI human workers were much more effective, much more productive. The study found that they were able to resolve issues faster, to resolve more complex issues than were previously possible. That customers who had interacted with the hybrid human and AI customer service reps were more satisfied. So yes, there will of course be those productivity gains as well. And when it comes to the net impact, I think it is still really unclear. On the one hand, people are concerned about there being technological haves and have-nots based on these new AI platforms. But on the other hand, people are talking about how entire categories of jobs that currently enjoy a wage premium might no longer enjoy that wage premium because of AI. That would have the net impact of decreasing inequality, but not by raising people up, but by bringing an entire category of people down, which creates its own set of problems. The point of this is that this conversation is now here in a big way. The Writers Guild of America is probably just the leading edge of something we're going to see more and more. Technologists have long assumed that the forces of technological progress march on unimpeded no matter what. But I think that when it comes to AI, for the first time, society is going to ask some real serious questions about that. Engaging in good faith with that conversation, I believe, means probably not bringing all of our priors to it. I certainly don't know what the right answer is and where society nets out as better than it is now. I know that these tools are powerful and that I'm excited for them. I also know that the disruption could be hugely problematic. But you better believe that this is the beginning, not the end of the conversation. And more people are going to get involved, probably in a way that asks, is this really what we want? Anyways, guys, lots of food for thought. If you were enjoying the AI Breakdown, I would so appreciate it if you would take the time to subscribe to it or go subscribe to the podcast version of it. Until next time, guys, peace.